Proper installation of your new Miraco energy-free livestock watering system is very important to ensure years of trouble-free operation. In this video, we'll demonstrate the proper steps in the installation process for waterline and underground shutoff model 3995. The complete install of a Miraco model 3390, which is typical for all Miraco models. We'll also show the proper wiring for an E-valve, as well as proper wiring for Lil Spring and Big Spring heated waterers. Plus, we'll demonstrate the installation of a 3101 Lil Spring, which is also typical of all Lil Spring and Big Spring waterers. You'll also see certain features unique to Miraco waterers and fine points of constant flow options. Let's begin with the underground install. Make sure to dig below frost line to ensure frost-free operation. First, install the underground shutoff kit, making sure the water flow arrow is pointed in the direction of the water flow. Attach the shutoff valve assembly to the water line and place into the trench. Then, attach the vertical line to the shutoff assembly. Secure the bent rods over the shutoff assembly to prevent twisting when turning the water on and off. Next, attach the vertical rod to the shutoff valve and install the heat tube over the water line. Be sure to turn the water valve on to check for water leakage before filling your trench and pouring concrete. Then proceed with backfilling, leveling the ground, and constructing your forms. With all Miraco waterers, a 4 to 6 inch concrete level pad is recommended. Pour concrete pad flush with the heat tube. Make the concrete pad large enough for cattle to stand on, at least 18 inches on all sides. Now, let's take a look at the complete installation of the Miraco 3390. Install the PVC pipe provided and tighten. For additional thermal protection, slide the steam fitter insulation over the supply line, about 12 inches above the heat well. Apply and tighten the nylon zip tie so the insulation doesn't slip down the PVC pipe. Remove the paper backing from the rubber gasket and affix it to the bottom of the tank a 1/4 inch from the edge. This will keep air out and help the heat well stay dry. Next, install all 4 anchor clips evenly to the tank and tighten. Now, place the tank over the water line and position the tank so the supply line is centered. Internal tank connections begin by marking on the water line at the top of the 4-inch pipe. Remove the 4-inch pipe, which isn't glued in, and measure 2 3/4 inches down on the supply line and cut with a hacksaw. Apply PVC cleaner and PVC cement to the T-fitting and glue it to the supply line. Make sure the T-fitting is aimed directly at the opposite side of the tank. Apply PVC cement to the bottom of your 4-inch riser pipe and push it into the fitting at the bottom of the tank. Align quickly with the T-fitting so the hole lines up with the threaded end. Apply Teflon tape to the valve threads and hand tighten onto the T-fitting. Make sure the valve is straight up and down. Next, install the float assembly with the brass wing screw. The proper setting for the float arm should be parallel with the bottom of the tank, and the vertical arm should be screwed up until the bob float is within 3/8 of an inch of the nylon fitting. A unique feature included with Miraco waterers is stainless steel anchor bolts. To mount bolts, drill a 3/8 inch hole into the concrete using a concrete bit and hammer drill. Drive anchor bolts into your drilled hole and tighten them. Be sure to insert the drain plugs from the inside and press firmly into place. Then turn the water on and begin filling the tank. The top of the 3390 model is manufactured in 3 sections. While the waterer continues to fill, place the top center section into position first. Next, place the Miraco balls into the water and proceed with inserting the end sections into place. Begin by first bolting the center section. Apply pressure on top and tighten lag screws. The correct water level is important. It's easier for cattle to drink when the balls don't touch the top. You should be able to push the balls down and they should move easily around in the drinker port. Water adjustments can be made by turning the vertical arm on the float valve assembly up or down. Once you reach the desired water level, secure the access cover tightly. For new cattle, a trainer bolt is included to hold the balls back. This allows cattle to find water quickly, which is useful during the first 24 hours of introduction of the waterer. If you have a cow-calf operation, this particular tank also has the option of removing one or both ends so open water is available to young calves. Remove bolts and pull top section off. This Mirafound Model 3390 has successfully been installed and is now ready for operation. For additional information, consult the installation instructions included in your parts bag. Moving forward, let's watch the proper wiring of Model 3465E. The installation of all E-founts are the same and should be wired by a certified electrician. First, push the underground electrical wire through the opening and connect the proper wires to the correct leads. As instructed on the side panel of the E-fount, push the wires into the electric compartment and replace the cover. A unique feature to your E-fount is an external plug when installing conduit for outside wiring. Note that all E-fount plumbing installation is the same as the 3390 we just installed. Now, we'll install a Model 3101 Lil Spring. This installation is typical for all Lil Spring and Big Springs with heat. Attach your underground wire to a weatherproof electrical box. Mount the electrical box straight across from the access door by attaching with screws. When installing a heater, it's necessary to drive a copper rod 5 feet into the ground and attach the copper wire which will be put in the water in the valve compartment. Now, install your hookup hose with shutoff valve onto the water line and tighten. Before you set the tank, turn on the water to flush the line out and to check for leaks. Remove the paper backing from the rubber gasket and affix it to the bottom of the tank a 1/4 inch from the edge. This will keep air out and help the heat well stay dry. Remember, Teflon tape should be used on all threaded ends. Install the PVC elbow onto the supply hose. Then place the water line through the opening and into the valve compartment, and center the tank over the hole. Push the PVC elbow through the hole and hand tighten to the valve onto the PVC fitting. Then, attach the float valve to the hose and hand tighten. Run your ground wire up through the unit and into the water valve compartment area. Drop the line heater down along the water line. Place the donut heater under the float assembly on the bottom of the valve compartment. Then, plug both the tank heater and line heater into your weatherproof electrical box. Note: during periods when the heater is not being used, unplug it and remove the heater from the water. It can be stored under the tank or hung in a dry area until needed again. A unique feature included with Miraco Waterers is stainless steel anchor bolts. To mount bolts, drill a 3/8-inch hole into the concrete using a concrete bit and hammer drill. Drive anchor bolts into your drilled hole and tighten them. Make certain to insert the drain plugs from the inside and press firmly into place. A nice feature of Lil Spring Waterers is being able to remove the drain plug and place it into the center hole during times when one or both sides of the waterer are not being used. The valve area is accessed without tools with Miraco's exclusive spring-loaded clips. This gives you easy access to the waterer to adjust water levels as needed. Up next, the 2900 Lil Spring. Connect the PVC fitting to the hookup hose and push it into the molded cradle and secure with the stainless steel plate. Screw the valve assembly to the hookup hose and install the float assembly. Proceed with filling your tank and preparing it for use. The Big Spring 6000. Again, this is a typical installation for all Big Spring models. Install the PVC elbow to the hookup hose shutoff kit and push into the valve compartment. Screw the valve assembly onto the water line and hand tighten. Run the constant flow tube through the molded hole in the valve compartment and attach to the valve assembly. This feature can be used for constant flow for freeze protection or for attracting new cattle to the water source. Then, place the rubber plugs from the inside and press firmly into place. Now, install the float assembly to the valve and adjust your water level to desired height. Now, let's take a look at the Big Spring 6200 and 6300. When using the 6200 or 6300 Big Spring Waterers with the constant flow feature, this is the proper plumbing for the overflow wastewater. Note the 2-inch PVC pipe on the underside routes the discharge water to a single outlet. The constant flow features of the Big Spring 6000 and 6300 with topside shutoff valves are exclusive to Miraco. Used with large-scale cattle operations, these waterers draw cattle to drink effortlessly and energy-free. Trouble-free operation is dependent upon following these installation guidelines and the printed instructions found in your parts bag. Remember, Miraco waterers are built to last and have a 5-year guarantee. If you have questions regarding the operation, installation, or maintenance of your Miraco waterer, contact your local Miraco dealer.